edition. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi traveled to Amman on Tuesday to participate in the 28th Arab Summit in Jordan. Arab leaders met in Jordan on Wednesday as the Arab Summit opened with a call to protect the occupied Jerusalem from Israeli designs. The two-day Arab League Summit held in the Dead Sea region south of Amman discusses the issues of the Arab world, including the Palestine situation, the ongoing conflict in Syria and Yemen, and the threats of terrorist groups and relations with Iran. To be discussing these topics and more, we're joined with Dr. Mariam Waheed. She's the Assistant Lecturer, Faculty of Economics and Political Science with Cairo University. I'd like to thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Doctor. Now, first of all, how do you see the significance of the summit and the Amman resolutions?
As for me, I see that it's all in all, it's a meeting for Arab leaders and this heads of states, a meeting of heads of states, and it's very high officials. And the importance of this summit comes regarding its timing, because the Arab world is confronting a lot of challenges. A lot of states are confronting even civil wars like Syria and disintegration attempts. So that's why it's really important this year to speak about those problems and the challenges that are increasing day by day. But as for the results of this summit, it's quite the same that we have seen for years. So it's this rhetoric, this strong rhetoric, but there's no action plans. Even though that they pinpointed a lot of important points, like for example, the importance of supporting the states that host refugees. Also, the importance of
adhering to the peace initiatives.
And the peace initiative,
the rejection of foreign interference,
and prioritizing the issue of the Palestinians and the Palestinian state, and also supporting the Yemeni government, the Iraqi one, to confront extremism and terrorism. That was apparent also in the speeches that we found in the summit that was held on the 29th of March. So the speeches were mainly focusing on how to combat terrorism and to confront extremism using this comprehensive approach like President Sisi spoke. And that's a really important challenge, but afterwards there has to be more of not only or not merely common statements, but common action plans in order to transform those great ideas into policies on the ground.
Yes.
Maybe I found also that there was an importance of the bilateral talks that were held on the sidelines of the summit, not only in the general meeting.
By President al-Sisi and other Arab leaders.
Yes. If we looked at almost 6 years back, before the uprisings and the revolutions and the Arab Spring, there has been a level of challenges for the Arab League that is entirely different today. Today, like you mentioned, there is a lot of conflicts, there is a lot of issues and challenges, a very high wave, a very tough challenge for the Arab League. How do you think today Arab League is confronting these dangerous situations all across the Arab region?
Yes, I think that of course challenges are more nowadays, so that necessitates that we must have more policies, not only this rhetoric that we used to hear years ago.
Yes.
So it's apparent to anyone who's reading this final statement or listening to it or even hearing those speeches that is quite the same.
Yes.
There's like attempts to have common goal. We're having common civilization, common language, common goals, but afterwards we can't figure out what will take place later. Even that there's an attempt to have consensus because we are having a common destiny. We're having we're focusing how to later on have a good future, bright future for our generations. Those are the words that were mentioned that we have to confront.
And these are the things that the Arab world is looking for.
Yes.
The unity, the dream of like having no boundaries, this is like, the ongoing dream for any Arab country, I guess.
And having a free trade area, and those were the issues that really need to be stressed on and to be transformed into policies.
Now, you've just mentioned an important thing, which is the free Arab market. Do you see that feasible right now? And what would be the mechanisms we need?
What I see is that there are good common bilateral relations between countries, like between Egypt and Jordan, that there's a lot of workers working in Jordan, and there's industries and free trade, but it's not feasible that we're going to have a free trade area right now. That's what I see.
Yes, and you spoke a little bit about the speeches. What really catched your attention throughout the speeches of the summit?
What really caught my attention was this speech by the UN General. Antonio Guterres, when he spoke about the importance of talking to Westerners about that Islam is not responsible for terrorism. And this was mentioned in his speech, that Muslims are the real victims of terrorism and not Westerners. So Islam is not responsible for it, but it's those extremists and terrorists who
not responsible for it, but they're paying the price for it.
Islam that is against all peaceful concerns of the world.
Yes.
Now, there were many topics discussed. In addition to the political, there were also the economic cooperation and the social cooperation. Now, how do you see the importance of the topics, the various topics, including the economic and social topics, which were discussed during the summit?
The importance of it was clearly announced, for example, that there is a plan for developing Arab women by 2030, that there is a clear action plan regarding women in general, and that's really important, because I think that the Arab girls are moving forward towards more good positions in aviation, in sports, and everything. And also at that one side, there's also the common challenges and deterioration in a lot of circumstances for women in Iraq, for example, that they were confronted by a lot of problems, that most citizens were confronting terrorism, for example, but it was more focused on women, that they've confronted more challenges.
Yes, there is a lot of Arab political analysts who said the decisions, of the summit is really ordinary. The Arab League, there's a lot of expectation from the Arab League, a lot of pledges and promises, to try to unite and bring, those dreams into life. So they're kind of skeptical about, is it going to really make a difference or not? What is your point of view?
The place where this summit was held by the Dead Sea, so it was a symbol maybe of, it's very near Palestine. So,
exactly. Yeah.
So what about Palestine? What will be the case? What's the destiny of the Palestinian people and the Arab world in general? Because the Palestinian case is a very important case for all Arab citizens. So we can find there's a stress in the speeches of the leaders of the importance of having a two-state solution by several Arab leaders. But on the contrary, you won't find an agreement. You may find the majority of Arab leaders focusing on a case, but you'll not find a consensus of
Do you feel
opinions of what will take place. How will the two states will be like
clear milestones
yes.
towards this resolution.
And also that that there will be a series of talks will be held with Donald Trump will hold it with Arab leaders. So I think that those talks will have will be more effective and will clearly show the scene and the American and the Western look at us and how they want us to be like, and how whether there will be a change in the Arab-Israeli conflict or not.
Now that would lead us to how do you see the significance and importance of the trip that President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi will be undergoing at the beginning of next month to the United States?
Yes, he will travel on the 3rd of April.
Yes.
And there will be also a meeting with the Jordanian king. I think that it's really important to begin figuring out what the American administration is up to after a change. It appears that there will be a change from the Obama administration regarding the issue of the Arab-Israeli case and the Israeli settlements, and how to limit the settlements, and if it's possible to create this two-state solution. But if you heard this speech, it was a conference between Netanyahu and Donald Trump. Donald Trump was saying, I can go for the two-state solution or the one-state solution as you like. If you like the one-state solution, if the Arabs like the two-state solution, up to you. I can go for both. So it's not clear, but as we know how American administration is supporting the Israeli cause and the Israeli ideology and the Israeli case, so we can figure out that it will be more towards the Israeli stance, but I think there will be kind of a change, but it's not clear right now what will be the case.
Yes.
And also in terms of the Syrian conflict, the American administration now is not clearly supporting the opposition groups against Bashar al-Assad. So there will be a development in this part as well, that there's a change, but whether, and President Sisi from the speech at the summit insisted that there must be a political solution. So we are still waiting for this political solution, how it will be.
One of the political stances was that there were no invitations for the Syria's Bashar al-Assad.
Yes.
So how do you see this political stance, and do you see there has been anything different, ever since the membership was suspended in 2011 for Syria? Has the Arab League or the Arab members of state has done anything that changed or helped ease in the crisis?
Yes, Bashar al-Assad wasn't invited to this conference, and we can clearly see the seat empty, and no opposition leaders or no formal leaders invited to this summit since 2011. It was empty, and it's clear that there's the Arabs in general, the Arab leaders, are seeking to conform with the international stance towards the Syrian case. So the UN meetings, Geneva meetings. So they are conforming with this, but the there's still a real struggle and conflict of stances, because, for example, Qatari leader was insisting that Bashar al-Assad has to stop what he's doing, and he's supporting the opposition, while other countries are not taking the same stance. So these kinds of conflict doesn't
help the case.
Doesn't help the case, and doesn't help Arab leaders finding common ground in order to begin their talks and to begin doing making policies on the ground.
Actually, this year they had a lot on their plate. They had Palestine, they had Yemen, they had Libya, they had Syria, they had Somalia, they had the Sudan. Now, I'm interested in Yemen. How do you feel, or do you think that the Yemeni crisis might be resolved? Because most of the political analysts and politicians are thinking that it's hard to resolve. It's quite difficult to resolve it.
The problem is that I think that in the Arab world everything is like a war by proxy. So it's a confrontation between the Europe and between Russia and the US and Iran, and all of this taking place on the Arab countries. So if their problems are resolved, our problems will be resolved. So this is a real problem. And decisions by the Arab Summit focused on how to counter foreign intervention, foreign meddling in our own countries. And this was clearly stated that everybody was when they listened to this, we thought of Iran, we thought also of Turkey, of Israel, and
yes.
how those kinds of conflicts, those kinds of interventions taking place in our countries are affecting this
yes,
in a
indeed,
very
indeed, and we hope,
way,
we hope that eventually we get to resolve these issues. Dr. Mariam Waheed, assistant lecturer at the Faculty of Economics and Political Science, thank you very much for this interview. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, and now we will be going to a quick break, and we'll be back, so stay with us.